And our third speaker this morning is Szabó Jázmin. Jázmin studies at János University, where she is a member of the student government, taking part in organizing school events and designing social contents. She is a hardworking, communicative, and open-minded student who is really into biology, geography, and sports. She is also motivated by thinking and talking about the future and finding solutions to problems by analyzing the present in a complex sociological, psychological, and even philosophical way. Performing in front of an audience is not a completely unknown experience for her because she is also a member of her school's basketball team and takes modern dance classes. She won a special award with her pitch last September on the Cinemira Teen Pitch Forum, and Yasmin's mentor was Köcsei Csaba. And today she's trying to answer the question, how do we own the future, and what is our responsibility as individuals? So please warmly welcome on the stage, Szabó Jázmin.
My grandma says a lot of times that this generation owns the future, but she never tells me how. First of all, it's a very interesting contradiction that the future is ours, but we shape the future one by one with our individual decisions. When I think about the future, our future, the future of the world, one key word comes into my mind, and that's humility. And this is an individual behavior. In my opinion, humility is a very strong and determined word. We can use it from many different points of view, but in the end, no matter from which side we examine it, we get to this basic point. Now, I have a question for you. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear success? You're probably thinking about a lot of money and all that things, right? Before I read László Albert Barabási's book called The Formula, I also thought the same. He's a network researcher and he made a lot of research to find an explanation to success. He writes that success is a collective phenomenon based on the thoughts and praise of those around you. One day a quote came up on my Instagram and said, "The planet doesn't need more successful people. The planet desperately needs more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of all kinds." And this was from David William. Coming back to Barabási, he says that the thing you deal with has to be useful for the networks. The more it's useful, the more recognition and more success will come from the people. But how will it be useful? By creating value. So successfulness doesn't have to exclude healers and storytellers. I actually have an example from my own life to a healer. My mom is a leader of a non-profit humanitarian organization of 10 people. They make long-term sustainable projects, and the very first project was building a water tank in a Maasai village, so the African kids can go to school instead of carrying water every day. And they also renew the school in East Africa. So these people are successful because they make something from their own kindness to help others. So they create value. We create value. We are successful, we are recognized. But every people cannot reach this. This and a lot of other things cause high social gap. Can we narrow the social gap in the future? Aaron McEver, in his book called A Chap, tries to answer this question through the responsibilities of us, like shaping the world by a common will and the higher level of critical thinking to the intellectual society to consider the lower society as well. If these are not created, the exploitation takes place and the social gap doesn't decrease or even more increase. So, we own the future, but how do we own? The decision of the individual by questioning ourselves pressuring our decisions, making compromises by humility. And this will hopefully lead us to a right common act.
Thank you very much. And my question would be, you talk a lot about success, but how is success present in your life and what does it mean to you?
I only can answer this question in a personal way. Like, success is a feeling for me, what comes from inside. For example, I only had 5s in school, but when I went up to Apáceg, my grades went down because it's a very strong school. He can prove it. And so, however, from years to years, I managed to increase my average. So this development is a success to me. Also, I participated in a pitch forum where I was really scared, but in the end, I managed to overcome my anxiety and managed to pitch my movie idea.
Thank you very much again.